I'm doing a big painting. It's like the biggest painting I've ever done ever. It's almost A1 size, so yeah, let me bring it to you. It's this big. It's not the biggest painting ever, I've seen bigger, but for me, huge. So composition wise, like basically the reason I've been drawing fish so much the last months, I think, is because I have to make this painting and it's based on overfishing. So my composition looks something like this. It's me crouching in front of like fish and stuff. The background is gonna look a bit like this little painting I did. It's actually kind of gorgeous. I don't know what to say, guys. Like I ate, I left no crumbs. So yeah, that's my painting. I'm kind of excited. It's gonna be watercolor as usual, but can my laptop shut up? Anyways, it's gonna be watercolor as usual. And I think maybe I might throw in some gouache and colored pencil. Definitely colored pencil, maybe not gouache. Yeah, I'm kind of stressed about it. I needed to start like on Monday. It's currently Wednesday, and I don't know if I can start today either. So I'm gonna try, but I need to actually do some like written assignments for school, so I'm gonna get to those at some point, get to this at some point. I'll film what I can. I think I do want to sit down and practice drawing the figure that I'm putting in there, because I don't draw poses that scrunched up ever, and my full body anatomy is questionable. So yeah, when my Instagram gets bigger I want to do a Q&A, but right now I don't think I'd get many questions. I'm going to talk about something in this video. I don't want to make it like a research thing where it's like overfishing causes this and that. Nobody really wants to hear me do that. I will be back the next time I film my face or myself talking, but the rest will probably be time-lapse stuff. Enjoy before you enjoy. Fish earrings. So surprisingly, to me at least, I got quite a few questions for the Q&A, so there will be a Q&A. But first, let me talk about this painting. This is the most ambitious project I've ever even attempted, to be honest. I was so stressed about my ability to execute my vision, especially because the whole thing had me pushing the limits of my abilities. I have never painted anything this size before, nor have I ever really drawn full bodies like this aside from like little sketchbook studies. And on top of that, this painting was so busy when it comes to the composition. If you've seen any of my other art, you'll know that I'm not a big background person. So in conclusion, this was actually difficult for me for once. My only critique for myself is not getting the skin tone how I wanted it to look in context with all the other colors. I started painting the skin tone first, and I think the bright and opaque gouache that I used in the hair later made the skin tone lighter than what I was envisioning. I was also super surprised about the fact that I didn't really feel much after I was done with the painting. Like usually when I complete a task, I get like a warm, sparkly feeling inside. Probably something to do with like what's it called, endorphins or whatever, I don't know, biology, but I didn't get that feeling with this one, at least not immediately after. I'm starting to fear that I'm becoming dependent on social media to feel good about my art, which sucks, but I will think about that another day. Maybe it was just because I was like this is a long project and I wanted to be done with it. Or maybe I've burnt myself out a little bit, but yeah, I'll just end this here because I'm super excited about the questions, so let's just start with those. I've broken the questions up into two sections: art and career related questions and personal questions. Thank you to all the lovely people who sent me questions. I love talking about myself, so this is truly a dream come true. I'm joking, kind of. A lot of you asked like multiple questions as well, which I appreciate so much. So let's start with the art related questions. There were two similar questions, so I'll answer them together. Joe.mama2424 asks, I'd love to hear a bit about your background and what got you into art and fish. And Kamichi asks, when/how did you get into art and other hobbies? A lot of the time when I pick up hobbies, it's around the time when I'm dealing with big life change. So essentially, all of my hobbies start out as coping mechanisms, which, I don't know, it might not be completely healthy, but the only time I really stick to hobbies is when they are coping mechanisms. I started my journey when I was about 12, and I think it was a combination of a lot of different things. My mom and I had just moved across the country, so it was like a huge environmental change for me, and I don't deal with change well. We lived in a big city beforehand, or like a big-ish city beforehand, and then we moved to quite a small beach town. And like just having moved there, I didn't really have friends. On top of that, a few months after we moved, I started getting frequent and severe panic attacks. So that little 12-year-old had a lot going on, and I very much needed a coping mechanism at the time. So around that time, I got into animation YouTube, and then I started seeing like art videos by people like Drawing with Waffles. I'm sure Jazza was in there at some point. I don't know if there are like art YouTube OGs, but I would call them art YouTube OGs. I just watched like the videos and then moved on for a while, so I didn't really like do anything with them. I was just taking in information. But then, this is gonna sound super dramatic. I watched Steven Universe for the very first time. No joke, immediately after I watched that episode, I looked up YouTube videos on how to draw some of the characters. Thank you, YouTube. You are literally my life. I think the first one I drew was Amethyst. I'll insert an image if I can find the thing. It's been years. I just didn't stop after that. Like, I kept drawing. Like, that is literally my story. Steven Universe, Amethyst, didn't stop. That is my story. With my other hobbies, like playing instruments and stuff, I picked up ukulele in 2018 when I was also dealing with a lot of anxiety. I picked up guitar during the pandemic and bass when I moved again in 2022. I don't really practice though, unfortunately. And then I picked up crochet around the same time as bass in 2022. I made a reel about why I'm so obsessed with fish, but basically I used to get a lot of stuff printed at a local print shop when I lived in that small beach town. I lived there for like 4 years, I think. And I would make conversation with one of the ladies who worked there, and at some point she found like a cool earring that she thought I'd like and gave it to me. It was like a singular earring she just found in her house, and like the earring had a little fishbone charm on it, and then I made it my whole personality. She was so nice to me, actually. Like, I appreciate her so much. I haven't seen her in like years, but thank you, print shop lady. The next question, Anisama Arts asks, your most difficult art journey part, something you struggled with. I think something I've struggled with regarding my art recently has been like getting out of my comfort zone and actually like improving with my art. For the longest time, I drew nothing but the same thing over and over, usually like a girl's face, straightforward, nothing else. And the main reason for that was honestly just because I didn't use references. I was stuck at a point in my art where I couldn't like improve anymore because I had such a limited visual library, and I only knew how to draw one thing. I think I would maybe use like references for practice in my sketchbook like later down that road, but I would never actually use them for my finished pieces because I felt like I wouldn't be able to find anything that matches the image that I have in my head. But guys, I am begging you, please use references. It'll only help you. I mean, you don't have to, because like art isn't always about improving. It really is just like a hobby for some people, or a like an outlet, and I don't think you should feel pressure to want to improve. But if you are looking to improve your art fast and you're confused as to why, you're stuck in like a rut, if that's a word I can use, please use references. Like, I wish I had started earlier because my art would be so much farther than it is now. The amount of improvement I've made in maybe the last like 6-ish months, I can't do math, no, more than 6 months, but I've made a lot of improvement in the last few months, and that is simply because of references. Next question, Vasudeva Arts asks, what do you aspire to accomplish in your career? Hello, Agrafena. Apologies for my pronunciation if I mess up, but I love this question. For the sake of this video, I won't go into too much detail, but my main goal is to be able to support myself with my art. Like, making a living from the thing I love most is such a dream for me. I would love to have the freedom and flexibility to fund whatever other projects I want to explore in the future. If I want to like do something, I don't know, I can't think of things now, but I want to be able to like have the flexibility to just like go wherever my heart takes me, which is like very ambitious and aspirational of me, but I love to dream and I will continue to do so. I just want to do whatever I can to be able to keep on creating and exploring new things and moving forward. Job wise, right now the dream is to be like an independent freelance illustrator. I'm super well, I don't have to be independent and freelance. I can be independent slash freelance, you know what I mean? Or I could like, I don't know, work with a studio or whatever. I just want to draw. I just want to draw pretty pictures. I'm super inspired by people like Megan Wang, even if this doesn't become a full-time thing, even though I'm determined to make it that, I just want to make art and share it and share whatever I can for as long as I possibly can. So as long as my hands work, I will be here doing this thing. Not this thing. I don't know if I'll be on YouTube forever when I'm like 80, but I will be making art when I'm 80. I can guarantee that, I think. Boy Remy asks, how do you alternate between mediums / do you ever get stuck on one form of art for a while? They also ask, what inspires you to do self-portraits as a fellow self-portraiteur? I do often get stuck on one form of art for a while. I usually just focus on something until I get bored or tired and then move on to the next. Like right now, I'm super tired from this painting, so I'm focusing on crocheting and doing things for my crochet business. I'm still like drawing every now and then. It's just little things in my sketchbook here and there though. The self-portraits. I make a lot of art about my feelings. I don't know if that is like reflected on my Instagram, but I do make a lot of art about my feelings. And I think one of my first self-portraits had to do with the fact that I was feeling super weird about aging and getting older since my birthday was coming up. And funny thing, my birthday is actually this week on March 23rd. I'm getting old again. Every year I just get a little bit older. That's scary. But because I paint my feelings a lot, it only makes sense that I include myself in them. It's also just a lot easier because I can like take my own references and I don't have to change them too much to make it not look like me. Plus, I personally think that I'm very pretty, so honestly, it's fun to paint myself. I enjoy painting myself. I think I slay. I used to hate being in photos, and I think that I'm able to, I think now that I'm able to express myself through my appearance, I've fallen in love with it and with myself. Kamichi asks, do you use references or imagination for your fish, or both? Both. Most of the time I use references, but every now and again I'll draw something from imagination. I enjoy looking at like how other artists draw fish, especially like artists like Max Monroe. Yeah. So that was the art related questions. Let's get into the personal ones. Butterfly Jules asks, your favorite shows and music? ? So many. I love cartoons. So like most popular Western cartoons are on my faves list. Steven Universe, Avatar: Lost Airbender, Hilda, Adventure Time, etc. As a kid, I watched things like Ben 10, Jimmy Neutron, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Danny Phantom. I love Ghibli films and a handful of animes. I really like Nana, that was good. I actually haven't finished it, but I've seen enough to be like, that's amazing. I need to finish Nana. I don't actually watch a lot of shows these days. I pretty much exclusively watch YouTube. But some of the like live action things I enjoyed are Heartstopper. All I can think of is Heartstopper. I know these aren't shows, but the Spider-Verse movies are an obsession of mine. Just so good, life-changing, absolutely. Music-wise, I love so many different genres: indie folk, indie pop, pop in general, Japanese city pop, punk stuff, metal, a lot of things under the alt umbrella, rap, musicals. My music taste is like all over the place, and I would name specific artists or bands, but I think we'd be here all day if I did that. Next question, Kamichi asks, favorite animals and why? They also ask, I'm doing a horror thesis, do you like horror games? If so, which ones? So, fish are cool. I won't elaborate further. I think we all get like my obsession with them now. I'm not gonna go into that. I really appreciate cats. I've never had pets of my own, not even fish, so I can't really give you a real reason. But I like the vibe of most cats. I would say if I were to like choose between, not choose, but if I were to like decide whether I'm a dog or a cat person, I would be a cat person. I've had a big crow obsession for a while. I think crows and ravens. They're like beautiful, just gorgeous creatures. I also like the symbolism that comes with them. Last one, starfish. You are telling me that there are little star-shaped living creatures vibing in salt water, ocean water, like on the earth that I live in, like naturally star-shaped creatures. Anyways, horror games. I am not really a horror like person in general. I don't really watch horror movies, but like I have like seen or played, not played these ones. I will play them soon, but I've seen the playthrough of Little Misfortune and Danganronpa. I'm not sure if they count as horror games, but I'm gonna go into why I like them. Little Misfortune, the art style, the music, the overall vibe, the story as well. I'm so obsessed with everything about it. It was beautiful to me. It was sad in a lot of ways, but it was beautiful. I'm not sure if the Danganronpa games are objectively good or if it's just nostalgia, but I really like the art style and a lot of the characters. Anyways, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I post a new video every month. Hopefully the number will increase soon, but for now, I will see you all in February. Goodbye. February? You mean April? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.